Hi, this is James Gordon, Electoral Library Hero with Graphic Novel Review. Today's graphic novel we're talking about today, Pride of Baghdad, written by Brian K. Vaughn and illustrated by Nico Henry Chan. This first published by Vertigo in 2006. This edition is from 2014. This is a short yet brutal graphic novel that touches a lot of subject matter and has a strong anti-war view as it follows these four lions as they're trying to survive while escaping from the Baghdad Zoo during the Iraq War in 2003, as this is based on a true story. While it is short, but it's very well written. The characters are very fleshed out. It's an interesting cast of like lions trying to survive in the streets of Baghdad during this war that's broken out, and they meet some other animals along their way. There are no human characters in this. It's mainly focused on the lion characters, which I think is a really interesting choice of doing the story. It's kind of like Watership Down meets a war story. That's how the best way to describe it. This has a strong anti-war view, and it touches upon other subject matter. It started to make me, even when I was reading this, I started making me question about the existence of zoos and why I kind of feel it's not right to keep these wild animals in cages. These animals should be free. They should not be placed in areas where people go pay to view them. To me, I find that kind of disgusting. And especially when wars break out, and then these animals they're caught in human conflict, and it's really unfortunate, as a lot of them get killed most of the time. So this was a really good yet brutal graphic novel, and now originally I was not going to reveal the ending when I read this. I don't like to do that a lot, unless I have no choice and I have to review it if either it's too short or the ending might rub people the wrong way. So sometimes I do spoil the ending. However, with this one, I have to unfortunately reveal the ending because there's no way around it. There's no way for me to lie of how it ends. I'm not going to sugarcoat the ending. I would never do that. I'm very honest when it comes to my reviews and stuff. And the ending to this, the ending is absolutely one of the worst things that I have experienced while reading, and I felt I have to describe this ending because there's no way I can work around it. There's just no way. And by the ending of this, it really does make you question, like a whole bunch of things, like why are wars fought, and why do we have these wild animals in zoos when they should be free, and some other topics that this graphic novel touches upon. But overall, I highly recommend Pride of Baghdad. It's an excellent graphic novel. It is short, yet it's very well it's very well illustrated. It's very heavily detailed, which I like that. But be prepared for the ending, as it was like getting punched in the stomach. It was a very painful ending. So overall, I highly recommend this graphic novel. Alright, on to the review, and spoiler, I will give away crucial details within the story. Plot. Set during the U.S. invasion of the Iraq War in 2003, Zil, a alpha lion, is walking when he hears a bird saying, "The sky is falling, the sky is falling." Zil doesn't believe him until fighter jets fly over the zoo. With him is three other lions. Safa, the oldest in the group, a lioness who lost her right eye and ear from a male lion years ago. Nor, the youngest lioness, with her cub, Ali. When Zell returns, Ali is all excited about seeing the fighter jets, which Zell is annoyed by their loud engines. Safa asks Ali where Noor is, and he replies she's talking with a gazelle. Noor is trying to work a deal with the gazelle on escaping from the zoo, claiming they can get the monkeys to work with them. However, the gazelle is skeptical of her plan and leaves. Al returns to his mother, telling her they are being fed rabbits. Just as they're eating, suddenly a skinned donkey comes flying into their den. Baffled why they are being fed a full carcass when they notice the zoo workers fleeing, followed by more explosions going off. They run for cover in the cage as the whole zoo is covered in dust. When it settles, they see their cage is blown apart, allowing them to escape, but Safa refuses to leave. Zil, Noor, and Ali see the other zoo animals fleeing and watch in horror when a poor giraffe gets its head blown off. They go to run, but are nearly killed in another explosion, which causes Ali to be separated from the others and is taken by a gang of monkeys. When Zil and Noor notice Al is missing, they go looking for him. The monkey leader attempts to harm Al with a sharp wooden stick when Safa appears and demands he release Al or she'll kill him. The monkey leader refuses and Safa jumps in, killing him, and fights off a few monkeys till they flee, pushing a log across the moat, and they leave the zoo together. While they are happy to be free, however, Safa is complaining about food. Norhar and Safa have an argument which nearly leads into a fight until Zil yells at them to stop as they must work together to survive. Noor feels turned on and wants to have sex. They lie that they have to talk about something, leaving Safa and Ali alone. When Safa tries to explain to Al its adult things, Al reveals Zil would say the same thing to her, hinting they used to be a couple. Safa and Ali walk over to a river to drink when a turtle appears, mistaking them as tigers. They tell him they have escaped from the zoo after all the zoo animals fled. The turtle can't believe there's another war again as he recounts the Gulf War, losing his family when they drowned in oil. Then they suddenly feel the ground shaking. The turtle warns them it's the lions of Babylon, and if the statue of the lion falls, then their land will be taken over by outsiders and returns to the water. Unsure what the turtle was saying when suddenly Iraqi tanks appear, driving through the thick forest. Safar is nearly ran over, with Ali biting her tail to get her to move. Zil and Noor rejoin the others and quickly get out of the forest as more tanks appear. Entering the city of Baghdad, they find it deserted. While trying to understand what's going on, Ali smells blood, which leads them to a dead human. The group argues over eating the human body or not. They chose not to, despite Zil's rejection to the idea. Then they spot a group of horses running through the streets. They plan to kill one to eat. Zil and Ali are unable to keep up, leaving Safa and Noor to run after them. Safa and Noor follow the horses into a large palace, finding a large pool. Then they hear someone calling for help. The two lionesses are shocked to find a badly injured and tortured lion. Safa tells Noor the rumors were true about zoo animals disappearing, as the lion used to be in the zoo with them. Suddenly, a tall brown bear for hair appears, threatening to harm them. As Zil and Ali find the horses ready to kill them, suddenly they hear Safar and Norhar in trouble. Farhar fights off the two lionesses, badly injuring Safa. Farhar goes to finish off Noor, but Zil appears and fights the bear. Farhar throws Zil against a pillar, believing he's won, but Zil lunges forward and bites off Farhar's nose and rams him through a window as the two fall outside. Despite being injured, Farhar refuses to back down. The lions then flee. Farhar is puzzled by this as the horses come running and is stomped to death. Zil, Noor, Ali, and Safar climb up the ruins of a building, seeing a sunset. Sadly, their moment of peace is interrupted by gunfire. Zil getting shot in the head, then Safar, Noor, and Ali are mercilessly gunned down by American soldiers. Out of the 700 zoo animals, only 35 survived the Iraq War. Pride at Baghdad was a beautiful yet haunting view of urban warfare and the effects it has on the animals trying to survive in a violent world with the human race, and delivers a very powerful message about caring for animals. Well-written story with a cast of animal characters you care for and feel their pain and suffering. Highly detailed illustrations by Nico Herachik and really brings this story to life, along with creating moments of empty areas with a eerie atmosphere, along with showing the horrors of war and those caught in its crossfire. The group of lions we come to know are interesting cast of characters. Zil, the only adult lion in the group. Safar, a old lioness, is torn of wanting to stay in the zoo, the only place she knows, or join the others in freedom. Noor, the young lioness, and her cub Ali. They meet a few other animals in their journey, expressing their views on the war of humans and their beliefs. The scene of them fighting for Har inside the palace was an intense moment. Despite their efforts to survive, the ending is a punch in the gut that will leave you angry in tears at the actions of the American soldiers, gunning down defenseless animals in cold blood. Just watching in horror these poor lions being blasted away by a group of trigger-happy soldiers really made my blood boil, and questions why we have zoos imprisoning these animals for our own amusement. Overall, I highly recommend Pride of Baghdad. It's a powerful and well-written graphic novel that has strong anti-war views and shows the effects of poor animals being caught in bloody wars caused by humans. It makes you question why these wars are started in the first place. It's like Water Down mixed with a war story, but not once does it glorify war, showing the negative effects it has on those caught in it, including the animals. For those who want something different, check out Pride of Baghdad, but be warned the ending is a bitter pill to swallow. Alright, that's for the review today. I hope you enjoy. As I said, I really enjoyed Pride of Baghdad. It was a very well written yet powerful graphic novel. Um, as I said, the story is short, but it to me it delivers a very important message, and it has a lot, like I said, strong anti-war views on like the negative effects on war and what it has on animals caught in the crossfire. And my other view on like why do we have zoos? Like why do we have these wild animals that should be free out in the wilderness, but instead they're being placed in cages and stuff where they're trapped, and their only purpose is to amuse humans who come to view them. Which my whole view on zoos has changed. Like I have nothing against people helping sick, injured animals to release them back to wild. I'm fine with that. Like as long as people are helping animals get back to the wild, that's fine and all. But the whole thing on zoos to me is just it's really opened my mind about keeping these wild animals in like cages and stuff, and to me it's not right. They should be free. They should not be held in these places where people go pay to see them. To me it's sickening. Should there be reservations though to protect wild animals from poachers? Yes, but having them locked up in zoos, no. I completely disagree on that. And this also has a lot of strong anti-war views as well. Like, why are these wars started in the first place? Some wars I do understand, like World War II. That is a war that had to have been fought. There is no way that we couldn't allow, you know, Adolf Hitler to take over the entire world. It would have been terrible if nobody stood up to him. So that's like a war that I agree that had to be fought. But then there's other wars like the Vietnam War, which in my opinion didn't need to be fought at all, and a couple others. But it really does make you open your mind to both like anti views on war and stuff. Like it really like this graphic novel does an excellent job of like touching on these subjects very well, and it makes you question these, and I really like that. Um, the characters, there's only four characters that we can come to know in the story. Zil, a young male lion, uh, Nor, the youngest lioness, Safa, the oldest lioness, and Nor's cub, Ali. Um, we follow these four characters as they try to survive this urban war that's all hell's breaking loose essentially, and they're struggling to survive. And not only that, but they're questioning what is happening and their views on what's going on, their beliefs, and the humans, or some of the animals call them gatekeepers. They're very well written characters, and there's only like a few other animal characters we come to know in the story. The turtle. I thought there would be like more scenes of him explaining his origin. It's kind of like in one scene, but it still delivers a powerful scene in it. Um, of like the consequence of the environment being destroyed and harmed by humans, which causes the animals to suffer through that. This has some short yet intense action moments. Like there's a part where Safa fights a gang of monkeys, which is a really intense moment, and then Safa and Nor fighting the bear towards the end was a really intense moment. So it's got some short yet intense action scenes. The illustrations by Nico Henry-chan are absolutely like beautiful. They're very well drawn, and they're very detailed. From like the opening scene here, it's very well drawn, and then the following part when the fire jets fly over, and this is a scene that I really like. This is a very well shot scenery shot right here. the lines leaving and under the, like the cross swords with the sun, and there's like the big forest in front of them. And then another part I really liked was the there's a lot of like scenes of like empty atmosphere in it. It creates this really eerie, very eerie effect, which I really like these parts here as well. So it's very well drawn. The characters are well written. There's no subplot or anything, which I like. There's no filler. The author Brian just gets straight to the point. He doesn't waste any time. He just gets right to it. As you're following these characters as they struggle to survive, trying to find food during this like war that's broken out, and then of course the ending. The ending, as I said in the beginning of the video, is something I could not avoid, as like I said, I was not going to reveal the ending of the graphic novel, but there's no way around it. It is a moment that will have you angry and even cry, even of just how savage these soldiers are. Like at the very end, they get on top of a building and they're just admiring the sunset, enjoying the peaceful moment. All of a sudden, gunfire interrupts without warning, and they're mercilessly gunned down by these 4 soldiers who are all like grinning and like, oh, we were defending ourselves. They came charging us, and you're like, you fucking assholes. Like, this part made my blood boil, like really boil, and I was trying to resist the urge of throwing the graphic novel across the room because that's how angry I was at this ending. As this is based on a true story, 4 lines were in fact shot by American soldiers during this war, and out of the 700 zoo animals that were in the Baghdad Zoo, only 35 survived, and it's absolutely terrible what these poor animals have gone through. And it just made me wonder, like, why do we have zoos? Like, why? My whole, like, you know, as a kid, I thought there was an interesting place to see these wild animals, but now I view it differently. I don't think it's right to have wild animals locked up in cages or in these dens. They should be free. They should be out in the wild where they belong. But we should have reservations to protect wild animals from poachers and stuff, as I'm against hunting animals. Like, if an animal like has a purpose for food, okay, fine. But if you're just gonna go out and just shoot them for sport, that is wrong. And I'm strongly against the idea of like poaching these wild animals for sport. It's just fucking disgusting. And then, of course, then it brings the whole thing, like why wars fought and stuff. And as I said, I believe some wars should be fought and others should not. So this graphic novel, it does an excellent job of like touching on these subject matters, making you question things, and delivering a very short yet powerful story, which I highly recommend you read. Alright, that's it for the review today. I hope you enjoyed it. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Octar Library, the YouTube channel where I post book reviews, book hauls, and official content. Until then, I'll catch you later.